Hello, good afternoon. This is Jacob Wheeler with Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness. Today I'm here at 614 East Chester in Lafayette doing a quick roof inspection. As always, want to show the beautiful property while I'm coming up here, guys. Bear with me while I make my way up the ladder here. First thing, guys, that I want to point out anytime I'm looking into someone's guttering system before I get onto the roof is just to take a look inside. So you're seeing a little bit of the sand-like substance, but also a lot of debris as well from the trees, which makes sense because you got a lot of them just above here. Now, these gutters are pretty filled consistently all throughout the entirety of the system, which is undoubtedly affecting the effectiveness of these gutters up here. So definitely something that needs to be cleared out in the long run. Other than that, next thing I want to point out by code is drip edge. Drip edge is this little metal flange that you see here. What it does is it goes down and inside the shingle to completely encapsulate the eaves. Typically, we're looking for a 2-inch by 2-inch metal flange. You do have that here, so that looks fantastic. Making my way up on the roof, guys. All right, so the next thing I'm going to typically look for is what's called collateral damage. Collateral damage, signs and indicators on the soft metals up here on the roof showing that there was hail damage. Now, typically these total vents are going to be made out of aluminum or a metal. These ones are actually made of hard plastic. I know before I got up on this roof, I talked to the renter. She showed me where a couple of leaks are coming from. They're coming from this side of the house specifically. This one looks like it's probably over her son's room. Right over here, you can see this hole directly inside of the ventilation. That undoubtedly is a great place for water to migrate into the system, which may explain some of the water damage we're already seeing. However, there's a couple other spots that could be true too. So you can see that there was a repair here as well. It's already starting to fall apart around that repair. It's not sealed very well. It wasn't done very well, unfortunately. To give you an example here, if you see some of these nails, all of these need to have an epoxy over them. Otherwise, that's just a fantastic place for water to migrate into the system, which we are seeing the water damage inside already. Moving along, next thing that I typically want to look for when I get up on any roofing system is what's called spalding. Spalding specifically is when shingle, or when hail hits the shingle, dislodges the granules, showing the fiberglass matting underneath. I went ahead up here and took some chalk and went ahead and chalked up several of these locations where I'm seeing this hail damage. So if you take a look here, if I can get out of the sun here for you, you can kind of see right here. So what's happening here is that all the granules now are gone from this location, showing this fiberglass undermatting right here. So that's a sign indicator, a telltale sign that hail has hit this roof, dislodging those granules. So typically, any insurance adjuster is going to be looking for about 6 to 10 of these hits in about a 100 square foot area. So I went ahead and mapped out a 10 foot by 10 foot area. As you can see here, there's well over 15 hits in this same area. So in my experience, this is a great candidate to at least see what your options are in regards to getting this re-roofed through insurance. All that being said, I want to point out a couple things up on this roof, which I also think is a great reason that you need to get re-roofed as well. You are missing quite a few tabs. Obviously, we saw that repair earlier. You can see some areas that will also need to get repairs fairly quickly. This could be another place where some of that water is starting to migrate into the system. Two other things I want to point out real quick. First is there are some soft spots. Right here, for example, you can see my foot. That's a soft spot. That's either weak OSB or decking. And another one right here, where that could be a sign of indicator that water damage has already affected these areas. Other than that, lastly, I want to point out you do have these turtle vents up here, which at the time were top of the line for ventilation. Now, however, we are going to call these a little bit more out of date. This roof, in fact, is a fantastic candidate for what's called a ridge vent. It'll go all the way down this ridge right here to give you the maximum amount of ventilation to make sure that this roof isn't as crispy and to give you the longest possible life on your new roof. Other than that, Jacob Wheeler, Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness. I appreciate your time today, and I hope that you have a very blessed day. Thank you so much for allowing us up on the roof for the inspection.